Hey everyone, Mike Sutton here, small business owner, coach, and founder of BeBuildHave.com. And today for this video, I'm going to share part of a presentation I recently did on my Tailwind Success model for setting and accomplishing our goals. And it talks about where things sometimes go wrong and how to figure out when that's happening and get it back on track. So here's the presentation. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so when I look at the Tailwind Success model for setting and accomplishing our goals, I think of it kind of like throwing a paper airplane. So let's say you're going to go compete in a paper airplane throwing contest, and your goal when you step to the line is to throw your plane and have it land dead center in the target that's 100 feet out in front of you. And you've been preparing for this. This is the championships. Everything's on the line. You want to make your best throw, so you show up for the event fully prepared. You've got your plane perfectly folded out of the best material, using the latest in folding technology, and you're confident that it's going to fly true. So the forces that are going to act on your plane when you throw it, you kind of can predict, you know, that you've got your throw and you've got to throw at a certain angle with a certain amount of force, and that's going to be represented by this first arrow. The angle and direction of the arrow represents the angle and direction of your throw, and the length of the arrow represents how strong your throw is. And then the other force that you know is going to act on your plane after you make your throw is gravity. And gravity is going to act with a consistent measurable force in a steady direction straight down. And so when you make your throw, those two forces combined are going to generate the flight path of your throw. And if you make your throw with the right amount of force in the right direction and gravity does it roll, then the flight path is going to be a predictable path that's going to land right in the center of that target, and you're going to win and rejoice and go out to dinner with your friends and party and celebrate, and everything's going to be great. But if there's another force that you don't account for and you make your same throw, except this time you're throwing into a headwind, then the headwind is going to be working against you. So if you make your same throw in the same direction with the same amount of force, gravity is going to be the same, but now you've got this headwind. Now when you make your throw, the flight path is going to be altered by that headwind, and you're going to fall short of your goal. You're going to miss the target. You're going to retire in disgrace, not reach your goal of being the champion paper airplane thrower, and live with the disappointment, all because you forgot to take into account this final force of wind that's working against you. So when we look at trying to accomplish our goals in our personal lives or in our professional lives or in our businesses, we can follow a similar model. We look at the forces that are at play, make sure that everything's lined up, and see if we can hit our goal. Well, the first most critical piece is knowing exactly what that goal is, and that's tied to our vision. Can we clearly see the goal that we're trying to accomplish? Can we define what success looks like? Can we know and have that clear vision in our mind of where we're trying to go? And our ability to define that is the first most critical step in achieving our goals. Then once we know exactly where that target is and we can see where it is, then we have to take our action in the right direction at the right angle, so making our throw. And our action, the force of activity here is our activities and behaviors. And that's going to determine whether we're moving towards our goal or we're moving away from our goal. Are we moving towards it in the right direction? Then we need the strength of the throw. That's how much force we're putting behind our activities. And there's two fuels that we can use to drive our activities, and they are passion and willpower. Now, it's a critical distinction here is that willpower, while we have some conscious control over it, is a depletable resource. It doesn't last forever. We can run out of it. The more we use it, the more tired we get, the less reliable it is. We start to feel worn down if we're relying strictly on willpower. It doesn't have as much power to drive our activities and behaviors. But if we can find our passion, if we can align our vision with the reason why we want to achieve that goal and put some passion behind it because it's aligned with our beliefs, then we really can have a lot of fuel behind our activities and behaviors and see a lot more success in moving towards our goals. So if we can get these things lined up, if we have a clear vision of where our goal is, we can take activities and behaviors that lead to that goal, and we can fuel it with the right amount of passion and willpower, then achieving that goal should just be the natural result of what we're doing. Everything's lined up. This is the tailwind to success. It's a force that's pushing behind us, not something that's working against us. And this is all driven by our beliefs. Do we have a belief that we can clearly see and achieve our goal? Do we have a belief that helps us understand what activities and what behaviors are going to be effective in achieving our goals? Is our passion aligned with our beliefs and our vision so that this becomes effortless and easy for us to move forward? forces like fear and anxiety and doubt and all the uncertainty, all are forces that work against us and aren't going to end up blowing us off course. But if we can get all these things aligned, create a tailwind for our success, then that success becomes the natural outcome of what it is that we're doing. So theoretically, this makes sense. If we know what our goal is and we take action in the right direction for the right amount of time, we'll hit our goal every time. But unfortunately, we know in real life that we miss our goals a lot, and that can end up being really frustrating. We miss our personal goals. We miss our professional goals. Our businesses aren't growing the way that we want. So why does that happen? Well, it could happen for any one of the reasons that we outlined in the previous step. And the most common thing that happens is we kind of lose our vision and our goals become cloudy and ambiguous. So what are we really shooting for? How do we know when we get there? How do we know exactly what direction to move in so that we can hit that goal? And so if we're lacking enabling beliefs and effective habits and actions, then we kind of take our best guess, muster up our willpower and hope for the best and take our throw. And then we need to kind of figure out where that got us. And if it didn't get us at our goal, which how could it? We don't even know exactly what our goal is. Then we muster up our willpower and take another shot in what we hope is the right direction. But now we're starting to lose steam a little bit and fear and anxiety are starting to kick in. So we muster our strength one more time and take another throw and try and see where we are. And then before we know it, we're kind of just like drifting and spiraling out of control and getting frustrated. And we don't know if we're moving towards our goals or not. And this ends up being the frustration that we feel from missing our goals, from our businesses not growing the way that we want them to grow, from feeling like we're capable of doing so much more, but just not getting where we want to be because we failed to clearly define where we want to be, or we failed to clearly define what the actions and behaviors are required to get us there, or because our willpower is just exhausted and we're drained and we just don't have the energy for it anymore. But Tailwind Success says that if we can have that clear vision, if we can define the activities and behaviors that are going to move us in the right direction, and we can fuel it with our passion because we have enabling beliefs that are helping us move towards our goal instead of getting in the way with fear and anxiety and doubt and uncertainty and blaming others for our failures and all these things that get in the way, if we can get everything aligned, then our success comes from moving in the right direction following these forces. So we take our throws, we see that we're getting closer, we adjust, we take our next attempt, we know that we're moving in the right direction because we're not always going to see the clear path fully laid out when we get started, but by having a clear vision, knowing that we're moving in the right direction and having a belief system that helps us to keep moving forward, eventually we do get to our goals. And we can get there easily and more effectively and more quickly by lining up all these forces, knowing where we're working against ourselves, knowing where we're missing the vision, knowing where some of these things are misaligned. Otherwise, we just kind of end up someplace and we're surprised. We don't know why we fall short because we're not sure which of these forces are working against us. But if we can get all the forces lined up, then success becomes the natural outcome of what it is that we're doing. It creates a tailwind for our success. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that piece of the presentation. I have a lot more information in each of those areas that helps to diagnose when we sometimes feel like we're not reaching our goals, to figure out where we need to focus to get things back on track so that we can get all those forces aligned so that we're easily and effortlessly accomplishing the goals that we set for ourselves in our lives. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely want your feedback. Leave me questions, comments below. Let me know if you found this information useful. Let me know if you want to hear about something else. I'm definitely going to keep the videos coming. And in the meantime, be the person you want to be, build the business you want to build, and have the successful life you want to have.